Today, I want to talk about one of the most overlooked but powerful qualities in personal success: consistency. Think of the goals you've set for yourself in the past, personal, professional, or health-related. The beginning is always the easiest part. We feel motivated, energized, ready to tackle anything that stands in our way. But as time goes on, as the initial excitement fades, the real challenge begins. That challenge is consistency. When we talk about reaching our goals, we often imagine significant, life-changing actions, but in reality, it's the smaller, consistent actions that carry us forward. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum is the force that keeps us going even when challenges arise, motivation fades, or progress feels slow. Like a snowball rolling down a hill, every small, steady action adds to our forward movement, gathering energy and making it easier to stay on track. Think of any big achievement, whether in fitness, career, or personal growth. Behind that achievement, there are likely thousands of small, repetitive actions that accumulated over time. Someone training for a marathon, for instance, doesn't just wake up one day and run 26.2 miles. They commit to a regular training schedule, putting in miles day after day, building their endurance slowly and steadily. Each run, no matter how short, is a building block that adds to their fitness. Eventually, all those individual runs add up, allowing them to reach the point where running a marathon becomes possible. That's the power of momentum created through consistency. Momentum doesn't just help with the physical progress we make, it also transforms our mindset. When we show up consistently, even in small ways, we create a sense of purpose and dedication. This dedication boosts our confidence. Every day we take action, we send a powerful message to ourselves: I am committed, I am capable, and I am moving forward. This belief is essential. Once we start seeing ourselves as capable and committed, it becomes easier to keep pushing forward, even on days when we're tired, distracted, or discouraged. Momentum also helps us overcome inertia. Starting any new habit or project often requires the most energy. Getting moving from a standstill takes effort. But once we start, each step becomes slightly easier. The work doesn't necessarily get easier, but our resistance to it decreases. For example, imagine starting a new workout routine. The first week might be challenging as you push yourself to get up, go to the gym, and complete the exercises. But by the third or fourth week, it's likely that going to the gym feels more natural. You've created a routine, and you're less likely to skip because it's now part of your day-to-day life. That's momentum at work. As momentum builds, it also creates a ripple effect, impacting other areas of our lives. A person who builds consistency in one area, say, by sticking to a morning workout routine, often finds it easier to adopt consistency elsewhere, like in their diet, work habits, or personal projects. Each new success reinforces their self-discipline, creating a pattern of consistency that can spread throughout their life. This interconnectedness is powerful because it shows how one small, consistent action can lead to broader positive changes. One of the key benefits of momentum is that it becomes a source of motivation. While motivation often feels like a sudden spark that's difficult to sustain, momentum provides a steady flow of encouragement. Instead of needing to feel motivated each day, we rely on the natural force we've created by showing up consistently. This shifts our mindset. Instead of waiting for inspiration, we simply follow the routines we've established. In time, these routines become second nature, and the progress we make further fuels our desire to continue. Momentum also helps us navigate setbacks. When we have a solid foundation of consistent action, a single missed day or a challenging moment doesn't derail our entire journey. We can return to the path we've carved, picking up where we left off. This resilience is invaluable because setbacks are inevitable, and it's our ability to bounce back from them that ultimately determines our success. With momentum on our side, we're less likely to see setbacks as failures and more likely to view them as temporary pauses. In the end, consistency isn't just about completing tasks, it's about building momentum that keeps us moving toward our goals, one step at a time. The journey might seem slow at first, but as momentum builds, we find ourselves achieving more than we ever thought possible. Small actions repeated consistently lead to substantial progress and profound personal transformation. Momentum becomes our ally, helping us overcome resistance, navigate challenges, and make continuous progress. And in the process, we learn that the journey itself, every small, consistent step, is what truly propels us forward. In the pursuit of any goal, whether personal or professional, motivation often feels like the fuel that propels us towards success. Motivation is that burst of energy we feel when we're excited to start something new, when the vision of what we want is clear, and when the path ahead feels full of possibilities. However, as powerful as motivation might seem, it's inherently fleeting and unreliable. Motivation comes and goes, often depending on our mood, our environment, or even factors beyond our control. This is why when aiming for lasting success, discipline becomes far more important than motivation. Discipline is the steady, consistent commitment to taking action, regardless of how we feel in the moment. Unlike motivation, discipline does not rely on emotions or moods. It's the decision to do what needs to be done, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Imagine someone who sets a goal to wake up at 5 a.m. each day to exercise. For the first few days, they may feel enthusiastic, driven by motivation. However, as days turn into weeks, the early mornings become less appealing, especially when faced with fatigue, bad weather, or a late night. In these moments, motivation may have dwindled, but discipline is what will get them out of bed and moving. Discipline is essential because it fosters consistency, the real key to achieving any long-term goal. When we are disciplined, we don't wait to feel like we do it because we've committed to a process. This shift in mindset is powerful as it teaches us to see action as a choice rather than a reaction to our fluctuating feelings. For example, a writer working on a novel might feel motivated during the first few chapters, but as the novelty wears off, the work feels harder, more tedious, and sometimes frustrating. If that writer relies on motivation alone, they might abandon the project at the first sign of writer's block. But if they've developed discipline, they'll sit down to write each day, whether they feel inspired or not, trusting that by showing up, progress will follow. Discipline, however, doesn't come easily. It requires practice and perseverance. Developing discipline is much like building a muscle. It takes small, repeated actions, a willingness to push through discomfort, and an ability to resist instant gratification. When we exercise discipline, we are often choosing delayed rewards over immediate pleasures. This could mean studying for an extra hour instead of watching TV, or choosing a healthy meal over fast food. Each of these choices strengthens our ability to focus on what's important rather than what's appealing in the moment. Over time, these discipline choices accumulate and create a structure that supports our goals, making it easier to stay on track, even when faced with challenges. Another reason discipline is crucial is that it builds self-trust. When we stick to our commitments, we learn to rely on ourselves. We prove over and over that we are capable of doing what we set out to do, even when it's tough. This self-trust is invaluable. It reinforces our self-confidence and helps us stay focused on our goals. When we know that we can count on ourselves to take action, we become less susceptible to self-doubt or discouragement. A disciplined person understands that every action they take brings them closer to their goal, which reinforces their commitment and resilience. On the other hand, motivation is unpredictable. We can't always control when we feel motivated, and often it comes in waves. This creates an unstable foundation for long-term success. People who rely solely on motivation are likely to start many projects but struggle to finish them. They may feel inspired one day but quickly lose interest the next. This inconsistency can lead to frustration and feelings of failure, as well as a lack of trust in oneself. For example, someone trying to lose weight may feel motivated after reading about a new diet, but without discipline, they might abandon it after a few days. Discipline, however, provides the stability needed to stick with their plan, even when initial enthusiasm fades. Furthermore, discipline allows us to work toward our goals in a strategic, measured way. Motivation often leads us to dive in with intense energy, only to burn out quickly. Discipline, however, encourages us to take steady, manageable steps that we can sustain over time. This means setting realistic goals, creating a consistent routine, and pacing ourselves. Someone training for a marathon, for instance, doesn't start by running 20 miles on the first day. Instead, they follow a disciplined schedule, gradually increasing their endurance. This approach not only prevents burnout, but also increases the likelihood of success. Discipline allows us to take on challenges in a way that's achievable and sustainable. One of the most powerful effects of discipline is the freedom it creates. At first glance, discipline may seem restrictive, as if it limits our choices or makes life rigid. But in reality, discipline gives us the freedom to achieve our goals, pursue our passions, and live according to our values. When we're disciplined, we're no longer controlled by fleeting desires or momentary impulses. We become intentional with our time and energy, making choices that align with our deeper goals and aspirations. This sense of control and purpose brings a profound sense of fulfillment and freedom that motivation alone could never provide. In challenging times, discipline becomes our anchor. Life is full of unexpected events, setbacks, and moments of stress. During these times, motivation can be hard to find. But if we've cultivated discipline, we can rely on it to keep us moving forward. We may have to adjust our plans or take smaller steps, but with discipline, we won't give up. Discipline keeps us grounded, reminding us that every small action counts and that progress is still possible, even in difficult circumstances. Ultimately, while motivation may inspire us to start, it's discipline that ensures we reach the finish line. Discipline turns dreams into achievable goals and ideas into completed projects. It teaches us to be patient, to value process over instant results, and to build habits that support our success. By choosing discipline over motivation, we take control of our own journey, creating a life that is purposeful, resilient, and deeply fulfilling. In every action we take, we are reminded that true growth comes not from bursts of excitement, but from a steady, unwavering commitment to our goals. And that commitment, cultivated through discipline, is what turns aspirations into reality. In a world that often celebrates flawless results, the idea of embracing imperfection can feel counterintuitive. From social media to career achievements, it's easy to get wrapped up in striving for perfection. However, this relentless pursuit often leads to stress, burnout, and procrastination. Embracing imperfection, on the other hand, is a powerful mindset that allows us to grow, learn, and achieve more than we would by aiming solely for perfection. It enables us to take consistent action, even if the results aren't perfect, ultimately leading to more progress and fulfillment. Perfectionism can be a major obstacle to success. When we constantly aim for flawlessness, we set ourselves up for disappointment because perfect results are rarely achievable. Perfectionism often paralyzes us, creating a cycle of overthinking, self-doubt, and inaction. For instance, someone working on a project might keep delaying completion because it doesn't feel good enough even when it's close to being finished. This mindset can prevent them from moving forward, trying new things, or sharing their work. By expecting imperfection, we give ourselves permission to act despite the potential for mistakes. It's this willingness to act, rather than waiting for perfection, that leads to real growth and tangible results. Embracing imperfection also fosters a growth mindset, where we view challenges and mistakes as valuable learning experiences rather than failures. With a growth mindset, we understand that each imperfect attempt provides insights that help us improve over time. For example, an artist who is willing to experiment with new techniques, even if the initial results aren't perfect, will learn far more than someone who only sticks to what they know well. By viewing imperfections as stepping stones, we open ourselves up to creativity, innovation, and a willingness to take risks. We begin to understand that success is not about avoiding mistakes, but about learning from them and moving forward with the lessons they provide. Moreover, embracing imperfection allows us to be kinder to ourselves. Perfectionism can lead to harsh self-criticism, making us feel inadequate or frustrated whenever we don't meet our own high standards. When we accept that mistakes and setbacks are natural parts of the process, we become more compassionate toward ourselves. We recognize that no one is perfect and that it's okay to struggle or make errors along the way. This self-compassion reduces stress and helps us stay motivated even when progress feels slow. We can acknowledge our efforts and celebrate small wins without waiting for flawless results. In turn, this self-compassion gives us the resilience to keep going and to try again after setbacks. Accepting imperfection is also key to building consistency. When we feel the need to perform perfectly every time, we're less likely to keep up with routines or make consistent progress. The fear of falling short may cause us to procrastinate or avoid the work altogether. But when we embrace imperfection, we realize that showing up imperfectly is far better than not showing up at all. For instance, someone learning a new language will make numerous mistakes, especially early on. If they were afraid of making errors, they might avoid speaking altogether. However, by accepting that mistakes are part of the learning process, they're more likely to practice regularly and make progress over time. This mindset shift allows us to focus on improvement rather than perfection, keeping us consistent in our efforts and moving toward our goals. Embracing imperfection is also a reminder to focus on progress over results. When we stop fixating on perfect outcomes, we can concentrate on the journey itself. This makes the process more enjoyable and rewarding as we become more engaged in the work rather than just the end product. Someone training for a marathon, for example, may not have a perfect run every day. Some days will be slower, others might feel more difficult. However, by accepting that each day won't be flawless, they can stay focused on the gradual improvement that comes with regular training. By focusing on progress rather than perfection, we cultivate a sense of satisfaction and pride in the steps we're taking, which further fuels our commitment to the journey. Embracing imperfection doesn't mean settling for mediocrity or disregarding quality. Rather, it means allowing ourselves to learn, grow, and develop at our own pace. It's about recognizing that each imperfect action brings us closer to where we want to be. This approach frees us from the limiting belief that we're only as good as our latest achievement, allowing us to take risks and aim high without the fear of falling short. When we embrace imperfection, we also create a more supportive and accepting environment for others. By openly acknowledging our own flaws and setbacks, we make it safe for those around us to do the same. This creates stronger connections and a shared understanding that everyone has struggles and challenges. By setting an example of resilience and self-acceptance, we encourage others to pursue their goals, take risks, and grow without the weight of unrealistic expectations. In the end, embracing imperfection is a path to progress, resilience, and fulfillment. It helps us build the courage to try, the persistence to continue, and the wisdom to learn along the way. By letting go of the need for flawlessness, we gain the freedom to take action, to evolve, and to enjoy the journey itself. It's a powerful mindset that turns setbacks into growth opportunities and ultimately leads to success that's meaningful, lasting, and authentic. Developing resilience and self-trust is a vital part of any journey toward personal growth and success. Life is full of challenges, unexpected setbacks, and difficult moments that can test our strength and resolve. When we build resilience, we enhance our ability to handle these obstacles and continue moving forward. Likewise, cultivating self-trust ensures that we believe in our own capacity to overcome challenges and follow through on our commitments. And together, resilience and self-trust form the backbone of personal empowerment, allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence and consistency. Resilience is our capacity to recover from setbacks and adapt in the face of adversity. It's not about avoiding difficulties, but about bouncing back and finding the strength to keep going, even when things don't go as planned. One of the primary ways to build resilience is through consistent effort and gradual exposure to challenges. Each time we push through a tough situation, we strengthen our resilience muscle, making it easier to deal with future difficulties. For example, a student working toward a degree might face numerous challenges along the way: tough exams, demanding projects, or even personal setbacks. But by persevering and finding ways to cope with each challenge, the student builds resilience, learning that they have the ability to handle and overcome hardships. Over time, this ability becomes a reliable foundation that supports them in future endeavors. Self-trust is equally essential in this process. Self-trust is our belief in our own ability to make sound decisions, take action, and manage challenges effectively. When we trust ourselves, we don't rely as heavily on external validation or the approval of others. Instead, we have an internal sense of assurance that we can handle whatever comes our way. This self-trust is built through consistency, honesty with ourselves, and a track record of following through on our intentions. Just as a person trusts a friend who keeps their promises, we begin to trust ourselves when we consistently meet our own commitments. Whether it's setting a goal and working toward it or staying true to our values, these small actions of self-integrity build self-trust over time. Developing resilience and self-trust is often a cyclical process where each quality supports and reinforces the other. When we trust ourselves, we're more willing to take on new challenges, knowing that we have the inner resources to handle them. As we face these challenges and navigate them successfully, our resilience grows, reinforcing our belief in our own strength and capability. For instance, an entrepreneur starting a business must trust in their own vision and skills to get started. Along the way, they will likely face setbacks, financial difficulties, competition, or unforeseen obstacles. Each time they manage to get through these challenges, they build resilience. This resilience, in turn, strengthens their self-trust, making them more confident in their ability to tackle even greater challenges in the future. An important aspect of resilience and self-trust is learning from failure. Failure is often seen as something negative, but in reality, it can be one of the most powerful teachers. Every time we experience failure and choose to learn from it, rather than give up, we're building resilience. We're teaching ourselves that setbacks are not the end of the road, but merely part of the learning process. By analyzing what went wrong and finding ways to improve, we come back stronger, more informed, and better prepared. This experience of overcoming failure also strengthens self-trust because we begin to realize that we don't need to be perfect to be capable. We trust ourselves not to avoid mistakes, but to learn from them, which is an invaluable skill in any pursuit. One of the most practical ways to build resilience and self-trust is through setting small, achievable goals. By starting with manageable tasks and following through on them, we create a foundation of small successes. Each completed goal reinforces our belief in ourselves and our abilities, and each accomplishment adds a layer to our resilience. Over time, these small wins accumulate, giving us the confidence and resilience to take on larger, more challenging goals. For example, someone aiming to improve their fitness might start by setting a goal to exercise 3 times a week. By consistently achieving this goal, they build both physical and mental resilience. As they continue to meet their goal, they develop trust in their ability to keep commitments to themselves, making it easier to expand their goals as they progress. Another powerful component of building resilience and self-trust is self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially in moments of failure or difficulty. When we approach our setbacks with self-compassion, we're less likely to feel discouraged or to give up. Instead, we allow ourselves to make mistakes and learn from them, understanding that growth is a gradual process. Self-compassion reinforces resilience because it prevents us from being overly critical or harsh with ourselves, which can drain our motivation and make it harder to bounce back. It also enhances self-trust because we learn that we can count on ourselves to be supportive and kind even in difficult times. One of the often overlooked benefits of resilience and self-trust is the positive impact they have on our relationships and interactions with others. When we are resilient and trust ourselves, we become less dependent on external validation and approval. This allows us to engage with others from a place of authenticity and confidence rather than from a need for reassurance or acceptance. We are better equipped to set boundaries, make choices aligned with our values, and pursue meaningful connections rather than relying on others to fill gaps in our self-worth. This self-assuredness makes our relationships more balanced, as we are able to give and receive without the fear of rejection or the pressure of seeking constant approval. Ultimately, resilience and self-trust empower us to face life's challenges with courage and determination. They provide us with the inner strength needed to take risks, to pursue goals even when the path is uncertain, and to bounce back from setbacks without losing sight of our purpose. By cultivating resilience, we prepare ourselves to navigate difficult situations without being overwhelmed. By developing self-trust, we establish a foundation of inner security that assures us we can handle whatever life throws our way. Together, these qualities create a sense of stability and empowerment that allows us to live life fully, pursue our dreams, and overcome obstacles with grace. In essence, resilience and self-trust are qualities that transform challenges into opportunities for growth. They enable us to rise after every fall, to persevere through hardship, and to maintain faith in ourselves. As we build resilience and self-trust, we not only improve our chances of success, but also enhance our sense of fulfillment, knowing that we can rely on ourselves to navigate life's journey. Embracing these qualities allows us to face challenges with a sense of purpose and self-assurance, knowing that each step, whether smooth or difficult, is helping us grow stronger and more capable.